Today we're going to make pom-poms, starting with 2 balls of yarn, different colors, doesn't have to be, but can be, a tulle from Create Center for the Arts. And what you do is we are going to anchor the 2 strands right here, and we begin to wrap. We're going to do 80 revolutions of 2 strands of yarn. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, not in 10, 11, 16, 17, 18, 19. It doesn't have to be uniform because we're going to trim down very, very far. So continue to wrap, not too tight, not too loose. By the time you make a second or third pom-pom, you will understand how tight you need the wrap to be. So continue wrapping. Let's see, we're at about 45. Keep going. Eventually, these pom-poms will be used for a pom-pom garden that we are planning to install at Create Center for the Arts. So multicolor is fun, it's spring, it's bright. Going here, 60. Just about there. Okay, a couple more. Okay, now we're done wrapping. That's 80 revolutions. If you were using single strand, 1 ball of yarn, you would do 160 wraps. You can also use 1 skein of yarn and pull from both ends, or make a ball if you don't have 2 skeins handy. So right now we're going to anchor in the teeth right here, and then we're going to cut. Now we're going to cut right here, and we can get rid of the skeins of yarn. So here is the tulle with the yarn wrapped. What you do next is tighten it up a bit right here, because we're going to take a 24-inch piece of cotton floss, and cotton floss works the best. Some people have used dental floss, but you need a very, very strong thread because we're going to tie very, very tightly. So bring the thread through like this, and we're going to do a surgeon's knot, which is once and twice, and then through, and tighten up. And tighten pretty tight right here. And then we're going to do it, flip it, and do it again. So if you can keep your finger here, we're going to bring the thread through this hole again, flip the tulle, maybe, flip the tulle, here we go. And now we're on the back side, and we're going to again tighten the knot. So we'll do a surgeon's knot again. So over once, and over again, and pull it tight, and as tight as you can possibly get it. And once you get it as tight as you possibly can, make it tighter. So the tighter you get this center, the easier it will be to trim to your pom-pom. So once you get it as tight as you possibly can, then you're going to tie another just simple little knot to secure it. Okay, so here we have it. It's tied. You've got 80 revolutions of 2 strands of yarn. Now we're going to slide the tulle out very easily. Then we begin to trim. The first thing you do is you go in where you have wrapped and you cut. And you don't need to worry about being neat or tidy at this point, because the majority of this is going to be trimmed away. But you can see as the pom-pom emerges, all the fluff that's here. So we're going to keep the cotton floss to the side. Try not to trim it because you may want to use it to anchor something. So continuing on, trimming here to open it up. And some people are very pleased with this kind of a pom-pom. There's more in here, you'll see as you're trimming. It's kind of a messy but a fun, fluffy piece. Our goal is to make about a 2-inch, 1.5, 2-inch pom-pom. So what we'll do is we will use this tool, which is a trimming tool, and you place it on the pom-pom, and we're going to trim away the majority of this yarn. So I'm going to bring a plate up here, see if we can show it. There we go. To collect some of the trimmings. You can do it over the wastebasket, which is what I tend to do most of the time. But for this, let's put it right up here for you to see. So we're going to start trimming, and there'll be a lot of yarn that you're cutting away. So you keep trimming. And it's important that you have good scissors and that are sharp and that are comfortable, because you and your scissors are going to be very good friends in this process. So you keep trimming away. Eventually we're going to switch around the trimming tool once we get the first part of this away, cut away. Okay, so now we're going to switch the trimming tool to the center. So again, it's going to be a circle, so it isn't going to matter too much where you have the tool, but this is where it's important that you've tied a tight knot. So again, you see all of this is going to be trimmed away. So you follow the guide of the trimming tool. And there's another thing you can do at the end of this. If you want the pom-pom to be even fluffier, you can steam it a little bit. Put your tea kettle on to boil about now, and once you have some steam, when the pom-pom is finished, you can run the pom-pom over into the steam and it will fluff it out even more. So continue to trim. And we've yet to find a real good use for all this trimming because there is a lot of yarn. I have some friends that have put it in little mason jars just because it's pretty and it's colorful and kind of fun to do. So when you get close to the edge of the trimmer, what we're going to do is switch again and move the disc to another location and just keep trimming. So we're going to use the guide. As you see right here, it's coming closer and closer, and we're making a heck of a mess, but it's part of the process, I guess. So you just keep going. And once you get to the point of the size that you think is going to be close enough, you can remove the trimming tool and just sort of trim. So what we're going to do is, as you see, here's the pom-pom. Now, we want it to be very dense like this, so we're going to keep trimming and take a lot of this off. And when in doubt, if you feel like you're not quite there or getting more, you can use the tool. You can bring it back on and you can keep with the tool. Whatever is most comfortable for you. But as you see, we have the pom-pom emerging. And what we hope to do is put the pom-poms on stems, and then we will plant them in a garden. And we will have a little pom-pom garden that'll be colorful, fun, and they won't fade away. They won't die. They will last forever. The yarn that I'm using is an acrylic yarn. Yarn is available at your local craft stores. You can order it online. One skein of standard worsted weight yarn will yield about 7 or 8 pom-poms. So you get a lot out of the skein of yarn. So if you use 2 different colors, and you can vary however you want, and you really don't know until you begin the trimming what the end result is going to be. But so we take the trimming tool away again, and we give it a little bit of a fluff, and you can see how the density, and we're going to just keep trimming, and it becomes very fluffy, very almost fur feeling, and it's a really fun, easy thing to do. It's a fun project to do while you've got Netflix on. If you're binging something, you can do it while you're chatting, and it's a fun little project. You can become very obsessed with pom-poms. They make not only the garden that we're going to do, but they make wonderful trim on packages. I made several pom-poms at Christmas and used them in lieu of bows, and some of the people thought the pom-poms were as cool as the gift, so that's kind of a fun thing. So you just keep trimming and trimming until you get to the size that you are happy with. Every now and then you can take your scissors off and fluff it a little bit and see how it's going. We're close in size to the pom-pom. So I'm going to give it another quick little trim, and then at this point, if you wanted to steam, you certainly could. But I would say we've got the circle, it's done, and you have made your first pom-pom. So there you are, lovely little pom-pom.